The Light in Dry Valley. The assignment. When you work search and rescue long enough, you stop believing in coincidences. You start to see patterns, tiny ones that repeat, the way a song gets stuck in your head. A missing hiker, a lost car, a voice on the radio that fades just when you ask for coordinates. That's what Dry Valley was to me. A pattern I should have recognized sooner. I got the call late on a Thursday. A park volunteer named Tanner had gone missing somewhere near the southern ridgeline of Dry Valley National Park. He'd been taking samples of soil for a climate project, radioed in around noon, then vanished. No distress signal, no GPS ping. Just gone. The ranger station sits on a bluff above the valley. From the back porch, the land looks endless. Miles of cracked earth, red rocks, and sagebrush that twist in the wind like dying coral. In the distance, the dry riverbed cuts a pale scar through the desert floor. No trees, no shade, nothing but horizon. It was my third month working there. I transferred from Yosemite after my divorce, thinking isolation might feel like peace. I was wrong about that, but the silence kept me company. At 5 a.m. the next morning, I loaded the truck with water, first aid gear, and a satellite beacon. My partner, Morales, was supposed to come, but she'd been out sick for a week, so it was just me. The park director, old Captain Ridge, handed me a printed map with a circle drawn in red ink. "That's the last spot Tanner checked in," he said. "Keep radio contact every hour and don't go beyond Sector 12 after dark." I looked at him. Why not? He shrugged, like it was nothing. "Dead zones out there. Radio interference. The geologists think it's iron in the rock." He was lying. You could hear it in his voice. The kind of careful, practiced lie people tell to make something sound less strange than it really is. But I didn't press it. You learn not to in places like that. By noon, I'd driven 30 miles of dirt road and another 5 over bare desert. The wind was up, whipping fine dust across the windshield. When I finally parked near Sector 11, I found Tanner's tracks, fresh enough that the edges still held shape. He'd headed east, toward the dry riverbed. I followed on foot, the heat pressing down like a physical weight. Every so often, I called his name, listening to my voice bounce back from the rocks. Nothing answered, except the wind. About 2 miles in, I found his sampling kit. It was open, half buried in sand. The vials inside were shattered, as if dropped. His notebook lay nearby, pages stiff with dust. The last entry read, 11:42 a.m. Heard it again. Same hum. Light coming from the gorge. We'll check before heading back. That was it. No signature, no timestamp for his return. A humming light. That's what he'd gone toward. I radioed to the station. Static. Tried again. Still static. I climbed a small ridge to get line of sight, but the signal was gone, drowned in the hiss of empty air. That was my first mistake, thinking I could just go a little farther to get better reception. The valley seemed to swallow distance. What looked like half a mile became 3. The ground dipped and twisted, leading me toward the gorge Tanner mentioned. From up close, it wasn't a gorge at all. It was a long crack, maybe 10 feet wide, carved deep into the sandstone. And somewhere inside it, faint but steady, was a low vibration. Not mechanical, not natural. More like a tone you feel rather than hear. I switched off my radio to check for interference. The hum stayed. It pulsed in a slow rhythm, almost breathing. I should have marked the spot and turned back, But curiosity is a dangerous thing in the desert. I stepped closer. At the edge, I found more of Tanner's footprints, circling the crack twice before stopping abruptly. No return trail. Something glinted down below. I knelt and shone my flashlight. The beam caught a reflection, a piece of glass, maybe his sample jar, and something else beside it. A faint shimmer, like sunlight trapped underwater. Then the light moved. It slid sideways along the rock wall, smooth and silent, following the beam of my flashlight like a reflection that had its own mind. When I turned the light off, the shimmer stayed, hovering faintly in the darkness. It pulsed once, thump, and I swear the ground vibrated beneath my boots. That's when I heard it. A voice on the wind. Soft, distant, familiar. Help. Please. It sounded like Tanner. I shouted his name and leaned closer to the crack. The voice came again, clearer this time, from somewhere deep inside. Down here. The opening was too narrow for a man to climb safely, but I saw a slope maybe 50 yards away where the fissure widened. I could rappel with my line kit if needed. I told myself that's what a professional would do. Check for injuries, recover the volunteer, call for evac. But part of me already knew it wasn't going to be that simple. By the time I reached the wider section, the hum had grown louder. It wasn't constant anymore. It shifted in pitch, almost like someone whispering beneath the surface. The sun was starting to fall, turning the valley gold and then blood red. Shadows stretched long over the sand. I anchored my line to a boulder, clipped the harness, and began the descent. The moment my boots touched the canyon floor, the sound stopped. Silence in Dry Valley isn't peaceful. It's oppressive, heavy, full of waiting. The air felt cooler down there, and the walls shimmered faintly as if dust were suspended in light. My flashlight caught the broken jar I'd seen from above, and beside it, Tanner's radio. Dead. Batteries corroded. No footprints, no body, just that faint shimmer drifting deeper into the canyon. I started after it, one slow step at a time. The deeper I went, the less real everything felt. The canyon walls curved inward, narrowing until my shoulders brushed the rock. My flashlight beam seemed to fade the farther it reached, swallowed by the dust. Every few seconds, that faint shimmer pulsed ahead of me, drawing me in. I kept calling Tanner's name, but my voice sounded muffled, like shouting underwater. The air grew thicker with every step, and the smell changed. No longer dry dust, but something metallic, sharp, almost electric. After about 200 yards, the fissure widened again, opening into a small chamber carved by time and wind. The light source was clear now. It came from a crack in the wall, a thin slit glowing from within like there was a lamp buried inside the rock. It wasn't bright, but it pulsed slowly, steady as a heartbeat. I approached, hand outstretched. The air near it buzzed, a low vibration that made the hairs on my arms stand up. It felt warm, not hot, but alive. And then, from somewhere behind me, the voice came again. Help. Please. I spun around. Nothing, just the canyon, silent and empty. But when I turned back, the glow had changed. It was no longer just light. It had shape. A faint human outline pressed against the stone, as if something inside were trying to get out. I staggered back, My first thought was dehydration, hallucination brought on by heat, exhaustion, isolation. But my canteen was half full, my vision steady. This was no mirage. The outline shifted, pressed closer to the surface of the rock, and I heard a faint scraping sound. Fingernails against stone. I shouted again, "Tanner, is that you?" The figure froze. The glow flickered, then dimmed. For a moment I thought it was gone, until the light moved through the rock, sliding upward like a ripple on glass. It disappeared into a narrow crevice high above the chamber. That's when my radio crackled. Dawn, copy? Back in?" The voice was faint, distorted, but real. I yanked it from my belt. "Base, this is Ranger Adams. I found Tanner's equipment in Sector 12. Possible visual something. Someone's trapped. I need backup and extraction." Static hissed. Then Captain Ridge's voice came through, shaky and thin. "Adams, get out of there. Now." "Sir, I can't leave him." "Listen to me," he said, each word heavy. "You're not the first to hear voices down there. It's not him. Do you understand? That place, it's not what you think." The signal died. I stared at the radio, half expecting him to come back on. Nothing. Only the hum returned. Low, steady, rising in pitch. The light pulsed again, brighter now, filling the whole chamber with a sickly amber glow. I turned off my flashlight. The glow didn't need it. The walls shimmered, and for the first time I noticed carvings etched deep into the sandstone. Spirals, concentric circles, stick figures with no faces. They covered every surface, even the ceiling. Old symbols, maybe ancient, maybe something else. And then I saw Tanner's hat lying near the wall. The brim was torn. A smear of dark brown stained the edge. That snapped me out of it. I grabbed the hat, clipped it to my pack, and started back toward the rope. But the canyon wasn't the same anymore. The wall seemed closer, twisted, the air thicker. My footprints were gone, erased by dust. Every few yards I felt that vibration underfoot, like something massive moving deep underground. The light followed me, hovering just out of reach. I tried not to look, but peripheral vision betrays you. Sometimes, when it flared, I swore I could see a human silhouette inside it. Sometimes one, sometimes more. When I reached the base of the rope, it wasn't there. I froze. The rope that had hung down from the ridge above, gone. My anchor point, gone. Only smooth stone. I shouted, cursed, fired the flare gun straight up. The red arc hit the top, burst, and fizzled out. The canyon swallowed the sound. The hum rose again, louder now, and with it whispers, soft, layered, overlapping like many voices saying the same word. I couldn't make it out at first. Then I realized they were all saying the same thing. Come back. Come back. The light surged behind me. I turned and saw it take shape. A figure stood in the glow, not solid, but not air either. Something in between. Its features blurred, skin pale as the sand, eyes hollow but shining from within. Its face looked like Tanner's. "You shouldn't have come," it said. The voice was wrong, flat, delayed, like an echo playing half a second too late. I stepped back until my boot hit stone. "What happened to you?" The thing tilted its head. "Found it," it said, "in the dark." And then its body cracked, literally cracked like porcelain splitting,
and light poured out from inside. It spread across the valley floor, crawling up the walls until everything around me shimmered gold white. The air vibrated so violently I thought my skull would split. My vision blurred. I stumbled, tried to run, but the ground felt soft, like walking on sand underwater. The whispers grew louder. "Come back. Come back." My knees gave out. The last thing I saw before blacking out was that shape reaching towards me, its fingers stretching like threads of light. When I woke, it was dawn. I was lying outside the canyon, on open ground. My rope still coiled nicely beside me, as if it had never been used. My radio was dead. My pack was half empty. And Tanner's hat was gone. I walked for hours until I reached the truck. By then, the sun was high, and the valley looked normal again. Silent, endless, harmless. At the ranger station, Ridge met me at the door. He didn't ask where I had been, just looked at me, long and quiet, and said, "You saw it, didn't you?" I didn't answer. He sighed, reached into his desk and handed me a sealed envelope. "You're off duty for the week. Go home, get some rest. And Adams, stay away from Dry Valley."
I spent that first night back home staring at the ceiling, too wired to sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that glow again, pulsing behind my eyelids, spreading like blood through water. When I finally drifted off, I dreamed I was still in the canyon. Only this time, the light wasn't chasing me. It was inside me, crawling under my skin. I woke drenched in sweat, convinced I'd brought something back. The following morning, I drove straight to the ranger station. Ridge wasn't there. Instead, a temp worker named Monroe sat behind the desk, chewing gum and scrolling through a phone. When I asked for the captain, she looked at me like I'd lost it. "Captain Ridge?" she said. "There's no one here by that name." I laughed it off, thinking she was new. "He's been here 15 years. Tall guy, white beard, wears that old leather Stetson." She shook her head. "Sir, I've worked this office 6 months. Never heard of him." I wanted to argue, but something in her tone stopped me. I just nodded, mumbled thanks, and stepped outside. The morning sun was too bright. It burned against my eyes until everything shimmered. When I turned toward the ridgeline in the distance, I could swear I saw a faint glint of light rising from Dry Valley again. Just for a second, then it was gone. For days I tried convincing myself it was exhaustion, sunstroke, trauma, anything that made sense. But then, the small things started happening. The hum. It started as a faint vibration in my house at night. You couldn't record it, but you could feel it. Low and steady, like a truck engine idling underground. The walls buzzed. My teeth ached. Then came the flickers. Little flashes of amber light under doors, in mirrors, and the reflection of the coffee pot at dawn. Once while shaving, I looked up and saw someone standing behind me in the mirror. Not moving, just there. A shape made of light, faint and trembling, like a projection on fog. When I turned, nothing. The mirror, though, it stayed warm to the touch for hours after the incident. By the end of that week, I couldn't take it anymore. I packed a flashlight, canteen, flare gun, and Tanner's old compass from the lost and found box at the station. If Ridge was gone, if no one remembered him, then fine, I'd find the answers myself. The road to Dry Valley was closed that season. Storms had washed out half the trail, but that didn't matter. I parked by the old water tower and hiked the rest of the way. Every step closer made that low vibration stronger. It wasn't in the air now.
It was inside me. My chest thrummed with it. By the time I reached the canyon rim, the sun had started to set. That's when I saw it again. Down below, in the dark heart of the valley, the light pulsed, slow, steady, beckoning. I lowered myself down the same way I had before. The air felt alive, thicker, charged. My flashlight flickered and died halfway down, but I didn't need it. The glow from below was enough. When my boots hit the canyon floor, the hum stopped. Complete silence. Even the wind refused to move. The place was exactly as I remembered. Same narrow fissures, same stone chamber. But this time, the walls glowed faintly on their own, like veins beneath translucent skin. The carving shimmered. And there, at the center, lay something I hadn't seen before. A shape on the ground, curled and motionless. I moved closer. It was a body. Not Tanner, not Ridge. Me. Same uniform, same badge number, even the rip in the sleeve from the first expedition. The skin was gray, dried, brittle like old paper. My knees buckled, the flashlight fell from my hand, rolling until it hit the corpse's boot. I backed away, shaking my head, whispering, "No, no!" That's when the light came alive again. It poured from the cracks in the canyon walls like liquid fire, swirling around the corpse, around me, until it formed a human outline. It wasn't just copying my shape, it was learning it. And when it finally spoke, it used my voice. "You came back." I stumbled, clutching the rock wall. "What are you?" The thing tilted its head, the motion eerily familiar. "You left us. We waited." "Us?" I croaked. The glow pulsed brighter. From the surrounding walls, other shapes began to emerge, half-formed silhouettes stepping out of the stone itself. Men, women, children, all glowing faintly, faces hollow, eyes filled with amber light. Some of them wore ranger uniforms. Some looked decades old, wearing torn camping gear. One of them, a small woman with tangled hair, had a badge that read Monroe. They surrounded me, whispering in unison, "Come back, stay." I tried to run, but the ground turned soft again, rippling under my boots like sand over water. My legs burned. My hands reached for the rope that wasn't there. The thing with my voice crouched beside me, its face inches from mine. "You saw what we saw. Now you belong here." Its hand reached out, warm, light, weightless, and pressed against my chest. The world vanished. When I opened my eyes, I was standing on the ridge over Dry Valley. My truck was parked exactly where I'd left it. My pack was full again. For a second, I thought I'd dreamed the whole thing. Then I noticed the time. The digital clock on my dash read 8:43 a.m., June 3rd, 1997. But my last entry in the Ranger logbook, the one where I reported Tanner missing, was dated August 12th, 2024. 27 years. Gone. My reflection in the rearview mirror didn't look older. My beard, my eyes, my uniform, all the same. But behind my reflection, faintly glowing, stood someone else. He looked exactly like me. He smiled. And for the briefest second, I smiled back. They tell stories around here now about lights seen deep in the valley after dark. Campers who hear voices calling their names, telling them to come back. Rangers who vanish without a trace. Sometimes, late at night, I drive out there and park at the overlook. The hum still comes through the ground. And when the wind dies down, I swear I can see someone moving in the canyon below, carrying my flashlight, wearing my uniform. Maybe that's me. Maybe I never really left. Either way, the light is still there, waiting.